In ElectroBIM, we have the project options, and this is where you control all the various settings you have for ElectroBIM in your project. And there's a lot of options, and we will take a look at all of these. When you make these changes, you then have to figure out how to get these changes to other projects, because when you make a change to all of this, you're going to get this set up once. You want to have it all configured for how your company likes to work, and you don't want to have to make these changes in every project. There's really two ways you can handle that. One, you can open up your template file, run this command, the project options command in your template file, and make the changes there. And then that template will have the settings in it, and then all projects based upon that template will have your settings. The other option is to use the customization, export, and import commands. So you would find the project, you would get everything set up properly there. Then you can run the export command. When you run this, you have choices for what you are actually exporting and where you're exporting it to. So you give it a file location that you're going to export, and then choose what you want to export, the various option settings, and then also some wire sizing and transformer settings. And you can save that to a file. And then in future projects, you run the customization import command. So you take that file that you've exported it, and then you import it into other projects. So that's just two different ways you can do the template, or you can do the export import. One benefit to the export import is that you can then pull that into projects that have already started. Otherwise, if you use the template, you have to make sure to start with that template. And then once the project started, there's no way to update it. So the export import gets around that limitation with the templates. So if you have a template, you can set that up. There's probably a place for everyone to be using export import as well. Let's take a look at the general options. There are two options here. The first is the ambient temperature. This is used when sizing wires to account for temperature. The NEC has some adjustments for ambient temperature. And so you can set the temperature for the entire project here. The default is 30, which is what the NEC has as their default value. Anything off of that has some sort of adjustment. So if you want all of the feeders and branch circuits in your project to be sized using a different ambient temperature, set it here. You can also override this on an individual basis for each circuit and feeder. So you can have specific feeders have a different temperature. But this is the default for all of the feeders in the project. So if you've got a bunch, if most of them have one value, you would set it here. And then the ones that are different, you would change on a case by case in the other places. The other option is the output shared parameter values as uppercase. This controls the text values that we output to our shared parameters. Currently, it's set to no. If I go to a plan where I've got a device, let me take a look at this panel here. In our properties, we have all of our shared parameters. And if we go down to this arc flash section, you can see we have all of those different options. Right now, it's set to no, so we're using upper and lowercase. So all of your output is upper and lowercase. A lot of times you want to do just uppercase for the output of the text in your drawings. So if we change that from no to yes, and we run our calculate, to get it to update, I'm going to do just that one panel. It will update the text so that it is uppercase rather than lowercase. So that's what that's controlling, to control what your text looks like. So if you just figure out how you want your text to look like on the output, and then change that setting.